Hi guys, and welcome to the Rainbow Six Replays YouTube channel. Today we want to present the video highlights of the playoff match between Team Soniqs and DarkZero Esports during the North America League 2024 Stage 2. Don't forget to subscribe and put a like. Enjoy.
Probably won't. It seems a little bit more formulated as they go for the drop round. They're close towards what is a default plant spot, but so is the Echo that steps in for the fight. Canadian wants to double dip inside the cold freezer as there's at least one more that's about to swing on, and the Deimos is able to get that cleaned, owned, squared away, leaving just Surf alone. Now, holding against Pamba, Kobe, and Bolo. It's not the easiest strike force to try and take down, and with a post plant made even harder. The track is on, they know exactly where he is. He has no free space to move into. One's rotated up towards the back of White, one is just holding them down on side Coffee, and they don't even get past that. Bolo, the other person you wanted to question, play. They need to get this bit of motion in. There's step one. Out of bathroom, out of the corner of Pixel, just swing into the smoke. You're gonna die out there. Just cooked themselves. Based on not being able to cancel that animation, there's got to be a need for revenge and a trade on as they keep pushing and pushing. That 5-second window almost ran out, but Kobe does find Surf, does find at least something to stop the bleeding of losing Pamba and Bolo and all the utility they would have offered. There's another trade out. Kobe's doing his best to hold on to this body balance, but at this point, you look at what is left in their pocket.
I like the way that DarkZero took top floor map control, but they just weren't able to secure Cocktail. Now it's NJR to do some serious damage. DZ holding the lead. Look at this, 7 HP for Ambi, 4 HP for Rexon, but even with so little left.
They've banned it themselves a little bit more, but it's still something they play. It's still something they put a performance in. It's something that's always often there as their third map decider. In the meantime, technically, although it hasn't had play,
I think NJR is the only player that we have seen on a player cam so far. We are just constantly looking at NJR, and I mean, he's not a factor at this point. Pamazoo is, though. Down goes Rexon. Numbers will equalize, and the cut and thrust of the execute is about to be upon us.
I like the live NJR reaction we were getting there. I think it's good to know just what he's up to when all of this stuff is going on. And with 20 seconds left, I'm kind of curious what all of DarkZero is up to at this point. Now they've got to see if they can try and get themselves down towards the plant, just tucked inside of a corner with the vertical that you have. It's awkward. Are you gonna go for the machine room? They drop down on the train hatch itself. They're going for the plant, but very quickly locked out there. It's in a great double take from Bolo, but with the timer and with the fight of Ambi inside, woohoo! Just your time to, well, try and throw the Hail Mary. I said it wasn't how they wanted the ship to land last time, and this time they're trying to do it again. Off of the back of Soniqs' hold, 5 of them still standing. Only 3 left, 2 left from the side. There's a triple for Surf, and I mean, ride the wave. It's a single player watching from far away. Pamba can't really do anything at this point other than hope that he stops a flawless, which he does. But that's it, that's all.
Yeah.
They love map-based games.
True.
They're a real flags of the world kind of guy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Get them and Milosh into a quiz about...
Is that hatch open? Yes. Expecting maybe a drop to be had. Bolo has walked into the bomb site. He's suffering through it. He sees Grixer eliminating him. Pambazoo also a kill as well. Bolo's got the diffuser on the Ash. He will turn his back towards Laundry as Pambazoo gets gunned down by Rexon. Numbers right now favoring DarkZero, and it will continue to go in that direction. Rexon, the only player seemingly with a pulse in this round. Canadian with 1 kill to his name. His former team, 3 players staring him down. There goes Rexon. Canadian will need to clutch this one out. Doesn't have much help here through the kill holes on the floor. I imagine it's Kobilax who'll be watching this. And there's the damage being done through the wall. Kobilax finishing it off. I think that's 9 kills for Kobilax.
The knowledge on a very famous, familiar team towards the bigger stages, you have even more, and you want to know, well, what can they do? And that's so much pressure for a young player, a fresh player, especially one that has to lead in on that gun game. And here, on the glass, adding to an already impressive tally over the game itself. Got the chance at going towards Bakery, but they haven't done a lot of work, so I'm assuming it's going to be pressure onto VIP, see if they can tuck themselves behind the chassis. There's the Bakery pressure, and it's shut down almost immediately. They try to move in behind the blitz, the back and forth, it's engagements on the far side as well. They're actually alone, but Grix somehow gets the end of NJR amongst it with a Flores drone. 15 seconds, all right. Maybe the execute is coming together, but without the kit, it's not going to get very far. Sprays down red towards the backside of VIP. As I said, it's the position they need to clear, but with Ambi cut in the middle of the site, he's spinning circles in 5 seconds. At some point, Rexon, you're going to have to try and get your head down. All the cover comes through. The smoke canister isn't in the right place, but Pamba, oh, he was about to be, but someone else got there first.
Had a rough start, and it has been all DZ since then. Saw the shield play of Canadian get ever closer. He's been the resident shield player for this Soniqs team. He was doing the same on DZ. But with Monty banned, bulletproof cameras along the way, there should still be one remaining. Oh my, Ambi getting Pambazoo. I don't know if DarkZero is aware of how exposed they were from inside a piano. 1 minute to go in the round. And another there for Ambi as he is hunting them for sport. Bolo dies to Rexon, and a flawless round was won by DZ not long ago. SQ won't get there as Grixer down below dies, but he'll hit him in the chat. I don't know if you want to...
On the internet? Who would do that?
It's unforgivable, really.
Ambi here, the third. I mean, great chance of getting the fourth there as he swung ready for the fight.
Amaru on Cafe is not rare, but it's not particularly common. Zofia as well going up there. Canadian has been having a very, very bad day. Incredibly ineffective on his role as he's picked apart yet again. And a 1-7 score line through 9 rounds is just not good enough. Bolo's been downed, which puts us at a 3v3, despite what the numbers say. Kobe is finished off. Bolo has been retrieved because there was a dock on the board. Ambi has...
The drop itself, there won't be an immediate reaction. Instead, a tuck down there. A couple of steps closer towards the site, towards the kit. The rotations come through from the side of DZ, but there's Bolo. Caught out, drifting in the corridor, leaving Nath, who's drifted their way upstairs. They have known and noticed, so you assume they're going to dining to plant. They are, they have. They're away from the side of the vertical. Nath is otherwise fishing for surf. He's tucked so far out, he's not going to get caught. That was a very clever read there from Soniqs.
Soniqs are closing this gap, and here we go.
Zero's confirmation, 56. So a little bit more balanced across Soniqs' front and back, but it means that when they hit heads on this side, you're really getting the truest taste of the two teams, and Rexon starts it off still showing why they were that dominant attacking force, and there's NJR with that defensive lockdown response. Quick movement inside coat check to check if anybody's coats are there. No. So they'll see if they can try and cross the divide of the long red corridor off towards Wedding. You can see Ambi on the far side trying to get some control of Bakery, be the sort of anvil to the back of the hammer that comes across, and the smoke isn't gonna see around what happens. Close right, jiggling the shotgun, gets one, gets dropped. Canadian. Instead, they're jiggling every single corner. They want to go for the plant. They want to go for the coverage. There's a bit of motion here from Kobe. He's trying to dig his way back around the bar. And there's NJR, as I said, as soon as he gets the read that there's nobody in front of him, he's just got to turn around and do the damage behind. Kobe wants to step in, off the shield, up and off the top rope for the double for the end. And DarkZero.
I mean, it means that we will have a longer night, but it's already the morning for you. I'm all right with this match going the full distance, and honestly, I do expect to longer have the top floor the way that they thought. So now it's Rexon, the reflex test. Try to draw Nath out of this position and fire through the wood, but there we go. Canadian gets it, a relatively easy kill for Troy, and now, with 35 seconds left, Soniqs hold a numbers advantage of 1. It's do or die. They lose this round, it's over. NJR's been dropped as well, so there's only 2 still standing for DZ.
I think NJR might have been maybe trying to get a C4 play up through the hatch itself, but was obviously caught out. Here, though, not a huge amount of time, and that's the danger. They have the vertical. Canadian's just going to try and tuck inside the door and go for the plant. You can assume it's a Pamba, steps in, wants to be the swing. The door is covered very well by Ambi. There's Kobe, predicted and caught. And I think at that point, you know,
out for you and gaining information. And I mean, here's what's happened with the clash, by the way.
Right.
There's Canadian's fire arrow.
No, I saw that it was the fire arrow that got the kill, but I was thinking, well, surely they didn't just stand in it. Where was the other pressure that forced them out of that door? Trying to get clearance down in the garage. They're still trying to find themselves, maybe just sending it. DarkZero's played themselves a couple of steps away, and Rexon finally finds the first kill, but 10 seconds left, and kill might be just defined by the time at this point. Round the back, knifed in the face, and NJR getting the kill inside the site. They're going to see if they can stick it. Canadian is holding F with all of his might and does get it secured. Now with a single kill in the corridor, it's all leveled up in a post-plant situation. Locked toe-to-toe at this. Ambi, I said they might be the defining factor for their team. They will be that right here. It's a 2 versus 1. They have to make sure they are not caught by this. A rotate up towards the top. They're watching, they're waiting, they're playing the vertical angles. They don't have a lot of time to make this happen. The punch through. Ambi gets the lock onto 1. It's Bolo from the bottom, Ambi from the top. They're looking for the connection. They don't have the time. They've hopped themselves around. And there's the pickup.
Wow.
It's all lols, but it's OT.
Here goes some of those track stingers. Grimbees will go down as well. Rexon, who watched as some of his gadgetry was destroyed, punches Kobe and gets that first pick. A whole lot of gas awaits the drop from Canadian inside of Freezer. He is running out of time and will now go for the drop, but evading it for the time being. He has to run through the flames. No, Canadian taking an awful lot of damage, but he's found a safe way in. Rexon is cleaning up the entire server. Back to NJR and Nath. As amidst the flames, Canadian stays alive, gets diffuser down. Oh my, Nath. No, no, no! How does Nath miss that? How poetic that it's Canadian to get the final.
And then you want to see it when the loss is on the line, when it's the chance of fighting to be maybe the last remaining NA team. I don't know. I don't write the storylines. It's for other people.
He missed all of those shots, by the way.
Moment right now for Soniqs, and yeah, it's a game of 2 halves. They've got a much better attack statistic, but it's not that it was a million miles away and it was their choice of play. Pamba gets the first, Rexon, I compliment their entry game, and then they fall to it for the first time since I think the first round of the whole game, so my bad. But can they try and at least get the conversion? Naif's knocking on the door of the site itself, trying to drive into Grixer. The cover comes, Bolo's there, and Ambi does find Pamba, but with them inside the site, going for the plant, they have some of the security, and they're making hay while the sun shines, and Ambi's looking in the wrong places. We get bright outlines, it's easier for us to see where the players are, but at this point, it's Canadian just watching players run away. They go to hold themselves around up top to make sure nobody tries to link up, and leaving just Surf fighting their way through the train carriage with a repel position on the window, with the split on towards Reading. They've got themselves either side. They could play on contact if they want. They could play on the diffuser sound if they want. They know Surf, but as soon as they do, they're going to pop up on this window. They can't see anything. So NJR sees them. We are going all on it. The charges are going to start. Bolo waiting, tucked. Ambi finds Nath, levels it out, but Pamba keeps the spread going. Bolo's caught as he tries to rotate out of there. It's just traded back and forth on the top floor. Kobe
positioning is, and will march up and actually miss out on it. Good lord, look at this patience from Kobe. This could be devastating for Soniqs.
They have the cross angle. They're going for the plant, and no! Sees the legs, but Pamba's there on the trade, and Grixer has to pull off 20 seconds, and he knows one's at least far away, so he has to try and isolate this fight before the vertical becomes the death. Pistols at dawn, but shotguns are preferred, and DarkZero finally put an end to a map that felt like it could go on. I tricked you all. Canadian changed teams, and he brought with him his bands.
Valkyrie removed on Chalet. An intriguing pick.
To Popper's potential step in, but nobody, no Legion, no goo mines, no pressure. Where is the blitz going to go? Valhalla, apparently. Canadian immediately cut in half as soon as they showed a side and a sliver towards the player behind the bar, and you're sort of wondering what the plan was there. There wasn't a second player going for an engagement at the same time. Surf does pick up a freebie from the mudroom, but with 30 seconds, an isolated kit in the middle of nowhere, you're kind of a bit curious as to why they decided to go for that death dive.
Pambazoo trades out Surf after Surf had got that pick on Kobe, and now Ambi's last man standing. They know he's in mudroom as he breaks through the barricade. DZ, 6 rounds.
You wouldn't. I mean, yeah, I don't know what the comparison is, but we're both, I think, Londoners originally. And look at us now. Kind of both in NA.
As well, first confrontation will be Rexon staring longingly into the eyes of NJR, just as we did in the player cams. Ambi dies at the hands of Bolo. Bolo has been dropped, so it is a trade for trade as the time goes on. Some damage being done to NJR as Canadian gets moved out of that position. Rexon finishes off Bolo, so now it's a 4v4. Final 30 seconds, and it's SQ knocking at the door of this bomb site. One toxic canister goes down in front of Rexon. He has no choice but to back up, and Canadian will charge on in to deal with the clash. Will SQ come out ahead, or does TZ go up 2-0?
I mean, at this point, I'm waiting for the close down against the back end of the players. They're looking to try and get the plant tucked in on the opposite side there. Surf is watching for that rotate, but it's a double down on the site and the kid itself. With bricks are being found, Surf has to take the drop on the hatch. They're going for the clash play, but the shotgun of Nafe is the actual end result of that.
Defender favored 57% to 43%, and that number will actually get better now that DarkZero has won 2 of their defender sides. This one goes.
He says with a laugh.
How does he do? Walking in, Ambi, the very first pick. Canadian slaughtered by Pamazoo, completely lost, looking the wrong way. A swing from above as Ambi and NJR trade out kills. Right now, numbers favoring DarkZero. They are 1 kill over what we see from SQ. But Rexon has the read on it. He's found an opening, and he will go for the plant with Ambi watching, but Bolo still has the spot above. Ambi, tucked in the corner, will get the diffuser, and it will be rushed upon by Nafe.
They're missing that connection. Time to talk. Time to slow things down. Go, look, where are we reassessing? Ooh. Spicy.
I mean, I think it was really Bolo above. That was the big issue, and that's what drew out the question mark, by the way, from
2-1 and ready to go. They're caught by the Wamai discs, playing against the window as best they can. Pamba's able to stop Grixer. Gets the first on the approach, and Bolo could go for the hop if he wants as Canadian. Hits the backside of the site itself with the attempted hold even. Gets the drop.
NJR with a single kill, Kobe with 2 kills. Nafe yet to die through all 3 of these rounds. He's going to gamble it against Ambi and take an awful lot of damage, but still get the pick, and it will equalize. Nafe, as leaders do, leading by example, and now Rexon will have to deal with him. Very limited HP, 2 quick kills leave NJR as a man alone on an island. Right now, sitting inside a back bar, there's a bulletproof camera watching Canadian as he asserts himself inside of games. They know he's in back bar, and it'll be a joint effort between Canadian and Surf, with Surf getting the final kill. It's a hard gun to control for Bolo, but a desperate attempt to do some serious damage. Pamazoo got Surf. Pamazoo has been downed for his trouble. As Bolo still holds from above, Pamazoo will crawl to safety, and the feet of the Blitz are spotted by Nafe, who now needs to retreat. He softened up Canadian, but not enough damage to really make an impact. Ambi with 2 very fast kills, and Canadian rushes in, pulverizing Nafe. NJR is the last one standing, and Grixer will eliminate him. And just like that, the 2 rounds that Soniqs
engagements. No, let's stop mussing, let's stop fussing, get some drones in, get 4 bodies against 2, 5 against 3, maybe even just all of us hunting down a single player. Okay, cool. We're gonna play close. Okay, now we're over here on the far side. The Canadian having to cut their way up the stairs instead of pushing on the side as they did before, but Bolo gets one, and Kobe gets Canadian whilst blind. Nafe's able to find some cement on the end of it, and it was a good idea from Soniqs, but it was punished by a little bit of moxie and a little bit of decent play from the side of DZ. They stand tall, leaving Ambi and Grixer in this do or die 2 versus 4 situation. Cover the player with flashes, force them up the stairs, try and do a bit of chasing, but the camera is revealing all at this point, and it's an awkward fight to try and take. So instead, gets killed elsewhere. DZ get themselves the 4-2.
Timeout at the tail end of round number 3 because they started off the map far behind where they expected. I am frankly
to be that danger man at this point as well. He can draw some attention. He can maybe try and fight back against the hatch. They've the ones that have to try and secure the plant, and a C4 will secure the kill on the back. The clash again, as you called it. Canadian loves to see and say what is going on, and that grenade will force a bit of motion, but Ambi getting Bolo. It's just everybody falling on the altar of trying to push into the site. Grixer is finally caught out. The clash is still standing. Yeah. And reading all of this as they push and attempt to push past and get the fight, but at that point, when you have the clash, you have the read, and a bulletproof gets 2. As the Candelas roll over, here's the first fight actually coming together. Ambi with the backed up shield and Rexon with the backed up player gets the kill. They're rolling out the blinds as much as they can. They're driving all the way in, get the execute on towards Ambi, try and keep rocking and rolling their way on towards catch at the top of blue stairs, revealed on the camera, hits the drop. Did they see where that loose player went? Back inside the site, drifting in towards the coat room. And it's Bolo to check him out of it. Rexon gone 40 seconds. They have some vertical control, but they don't really have a lot of utility left to try and help them drive in this 3 versus 2. They've got 1 frag grenade, 3 flashes. It's going to have to be very direct behind what is now a call being put together. But Canadian wins out the first. Pamba's looking to try and follow them through. They have them not officially dead to rights, but stuck in a corner. Are they going to try and fight their way out? They are.
Whoa.
It's not going to go very well. Pamba gets the drop. There is at least a final player to find, and it's Grixer doing their best to hold on. 8 seconds. Tucked round the corner. You've just got to take the engagement. The blind is on yourself. NJR still finds it.
This is a phrase that's actually come up a few times. I don't know if you ever heard this. That
I have never heard someone described as a glue guy positively.
No, I mean, this is actually maybe this is a North American term here, but glue guy usually represents somebody who they're not the best.
Came round, and it's a wise choice because although there's been a lot of the threats and the damage done obviously to the Wamai, they haven't removed the structure, but they tried to swing in, and that allows Soniqs to still play in that space, to still be a response in the small box. They push them off. Naif is stuck, watching, waiting on the double window with an attempt of NJR to get the pinch on a single player, and, well, they get gifted it. And there's Naif, suddenly putting us into the 3 versus 2, as Ambi's able to at least stem the flow, but getting one, getting the pickup, 20 seconds. They've got to get this. They have the cover, otherwise they are alone. Ambi and Grixer are going to see if they can try and step in either side. They have the pings on the play. They know exactly what's going on. And now we talk about who's going to give them the fight. It's NJR that steps through, looks for the first engagement, can't get it sharp enough, putting Naif in a 1 versus 1, but he just cannot get the 4-3 to his name. And Grixer holds on for Soniqs.
Couple rounds and then it tightening up as we expected. Now there's 1 round difference between these two teams. Sonic standing tall, standing strong, and here you go. Naif had a huge round. Naif in particular right now on this Kali, and the plant is going down. Gas not doing any damage whatsoever. There's an air jab to knock over Grixer. Soniqs wanted this comeback to happen. They've now lost 1 player. The smoke, not the most devastating of margins. The coverage from DZ will need to be even better, as Ambi missing out on the opportunity originally catches NJR looking in the wrong way. Rexon on the diffuser, and the last 2 players from DZ will storm down in the same direction. Rexon, though, will get the diffuser as they waste time, and Soniqs some issues with tech pauses, and it kind of dragged it out a bit, but we are, as far as I'm aware, we're just a tiny bit behind schedule, even though that first series went to 2 maps instead of the 3. And it could end up being a very long night, or for you, morning, depending on what happens over these next 2 rounds. DarkZero do obviously have an opportunity.
Anybody's serving, but has actually been surprised by the lack of any presence. They're on cam, they rotate round, and they almost give the game away there, but Grixer gets off and gets dropped. Pamba now has full site control, but he's worried about someone trying to find the fight back in on the door, and it's Canadian.
Where is he really running?
A couple more. Brexit and Surf and Ambi, and I mean, what was almost a very powerful snap onto the site turns in to a collapse.
The big one right now is this budding rivalry between DarkZero and Soniqs. There goes Naif. Rexon traded out immediately. DZ keeping this very close. 1 minute. 1 minute in this round. Soniqs, if they can find these 4 kills, we go over to Border to decide this series and decide who finishes first in NA.
Ambi's gone down in the meantime. They found themselves only firing back with 3 and servers in maybe the most dangerous position of all. But do they know? Yes, is the clear-cut answer there as Kobe starts the roll through. They're going to go for the plant. They're finally able to get the player up on the back end of it, but it leaves Grixer fighting alone for his life. He's on the echo, and he does stop the plant. He's looking for the second. They're pre-firing the wrong thing, so he'll get a free second deny here. You're kind of waiting for them to activate onto it, but they'll just cement the 3rd one. There's the reveal from the Deimos where the player is, and the fight on the door itself as Bolo gets Ambi from below a little bit too late. to stop the plant, and that leaves Canadian here. DarkZero look like they've sent us, and they have, into us such a long time ago, especially with the tech pause that we unfortunately had in the middle and the midst. Nafe, he's prepped up and executed instantly. Ambi steps and knocks the map, but Pamba gets a quick response inside the line of prep. There's Ambi driving and diving for that player behind the shield itself. They're able to absolutely uproot. That's again just another shocking run in that's unanswered past the bar, but Pamba vertically is causing some dramas. Now they don't have the kit. They're not going to go for the plant. They're not going to go for the operation at this point because, well, as proven by Pamba, they do not have the control above. Pamba gets his third. That is safe. That is not one of them. So the ping goes out just in on the door. They can watch this from some of the locations. There's 8 seconds. You can see the Legions going for the hunt. They find it perfectly. And with that locked out, DarkZero, but mainly Pamba, keeps that round in their favor.
Games. I struggle.
I can tell.
I struggle because this has always been an issue for Troy's teams. DarkZero, which means that Canadians' application with that shield will be slightly weakened as they are outnumbered quite so heavily. Down goes Bolo, so the numbers will equalize. The shield will be spotted by NJR as it's up to him, Pambazoo, and Kobe-Lax. Pambazoo has 14 kills, by the way, since coming back from our last rehost. Rexon slaughtering NJR from that gaping maw that is none other than the opening breach. Last one alive is Pambazoo. Hold on a second. 4 kills to his name. He's got 5 seconds to find Grixer and get the diffuser down. Grixer tucked away over in wine. Pambazoo just won't get there in time. And based on the clock, Soniqs win it for the 2nd map in a row.
Soniqs, they took a bit of a risk there. They extended more over the map. They thought if they shook things up, it would work. It didn't, but ultimately did, I guess is the way of putting it. They were on the back foot, and if it wasn't for the heroics of holding it down, just drifted by the wayside in OT. DarkZero on handing these engagements, I say, as Ambi just takes one, hoists the player, and Bolo, in the meantime, is trying to keep things going for the team, but he's slowly being surrounded and closed down on here. The verticality, he was the big problem when they tried to get this territory and terrain before the blitz. Pokes their head round the corner, he's doing his best, but remember how this ended. It was with a question mark and a lull as they tried to just plant without the vertical. This time, they aren't making the same mistakes. Soniqs, 3 versus 2. They still have the blitz standing. It's Bolo and NJR to try and get the final piece of this, and Canadian knows exactly where NJR is. They aren't going straight in. They wait. With Grixer getting that, it leaves just Bolo, a 1 versus 3 situation. Looking for the planter. Can't quite get the angle. They're tucked. They're dead. This is map 3.
By the way, an operator who's seen quite a lot of picks on this map, but also has been a favorite of DarkZero. Mira will round out the bans, and Monty and Azami are pretty normal.
Get that kill. They cannot get that take. They have to give themselves a little bit more support. The first goes. It's Kobe caught with Pamba almost instantly following a double. Farambi gets himself off to a screaming start. As I said, Deimos is going to be that lead through. Canadian's going to see if he can try and use this pocket to get the plant. They've forced the player away from that position, and it gets itself confirmed with Rexon finding Nafe and someone else getting a kill that doesn't show up on our feed. It's all down to Bolo, but not for very long.
A flawless round, and you can see
short attention is paid just in towards the site. They're going for the hop, the pressure in towards detention and jail as it's open. Rexon gets NJR. The concern is that they'll have angles above, and you need to have a player try and overcome it. It seems like they're still looking for scrappy engagements. They have loads of time at this point, and there is a rotate that goes. Surf gets Kobe in the meantime, and Canadian misses out as Nafe does find Grixer. Things are sort of traded back and forth, sort of blowed, but that main territory, that main verticality has not been removed yet.
Pambazoo now taking up this position over towards jail and almost missing out on that kill onto Rexon. Out goes one of those goo canisters. Nafe taking down Surf. Sonic struggling through this one. They've gone from a flawless round to just Canadian left standing. He doesn't have a ton of time to deal with. They'll rotate around with the goo doing damage in his foot. He has no utility. No secondary gadgetry either. He gets swung by Panbazoo. And Troy is worried about where these last two players lay in wait. Nafe over by the server rack. Bolo at the moment unaccounted for. He's up top now over by Metal. Canadian will go for the plant by the double door. Bolo will be the closest in striking distance, and he will get the job done wandering down Metal stairs. 1-1.
Security, they're forcing them out of the little cubby corner, forcing them back into long and further away from the hold. NGR hasn't entirely given it away, but Ambi gets the drop on towards Nafe. Break and then stepping even closer. They want to retake the ground that was otherwise removed from them. Bolo gets Ambi, goes for a chance on a spray on someone else. NJR sort of says, look, I'm not going to stick around and find out what happens next, because Rexon points it out to Bolo. But unfortunately, safety first was the MO. Tucked, waiting for the watch. Pamba has the vertical. Again, they didn't know he was there. Gets the easy pickup onto Canadian. It's the next fight that matters, as Rexon gets the security, leaving just NJR alone.
Smokes will go out, and now with diffuser in hand, Grixer will attempt the plant. NJR is the only player that could possibly deal with this. Surf drops. NJR also gets Rexon. It puts him and Grixer in a 1v1, but his position is known. Grixer looks like he's vacated the building. It's a dangerous spot for NJR to be in. He's got one gas canister remaining, and he has no information. He thinks that it's been an A-bomb take. Rexon will taunt him in all chat, as that Kludge drone has taken a lot of the tools from the defenders away from him. NJR will ignore the chat and go for this, but this will be an easy pick for Grixer, who gets compelled on in. Wait, hold on! But it was too late! We have cut away. I don't think there's enough time. It's going to come down to the wire. DarkZero still wins it. You've got to be shitting me.
Before he held the kit, we need that one in slow-mo. The slowest of Mo. That, ouch. But that has been overshadowed by a defuse with nothing else on it.
I'm stunned. It was literally 0.02 seconds. Picked away at, I don't know who it was that did all that damage. There is a Doc with 2 stim pistols. Bolo favors this op time and time again, especially on this armory bomb site. Canadian will square away and lose the engagement. Ambi is not close enough to follow up. He almost loses his life as well. Huge value from NJR as the diffuser will need to be retrieved. There's Kobilax back up from the dead. Gumine stuck in the foot of Grixer in the final 30 seconds of the round, unfolding as Ambi gets the diffuser down. Bolo swatted away. This one might be over sooner than we thought. Diffuser does not go down, but Ambi gets the final kill, and that's the round. Fatigue does begin to set in. If you woke up at a normal human time today, so say like 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, like a lot of people do, you've been awake now for about 14 hours, and these have been pretty grueling hours for you if you've been scrimming. First kill, by the way, goes against SQ. They lose Ambi, they trade it back by getting rid of Nafe. That's the Oryx off the board.
Ooh, Kobe. Oh no! I was gonna say he caught them unaware, but Rexon. And you hope the player's back was turned, and it was not. Bolo gets Surf. Canadian almost got the back of Bolo. The Doctor gets himself back up, is just dancing with these tight corners. There's a 1 versus 1, and CC goes into Pamba's favor. Gets rid of Rexon. 3 versus 2, and they, have a decent bit of utility here to at least get some coverage. But the coverage is Bolo's. Swings the corner, finds Grixer, leaves Canadian alone. A man and his bees. Like a sad children's book with a fairy tale ending. There's the Warden getting a reveal. There's them being forced off by the Capital Bolt, and they're using this to plant. Slightly off around the corner. They're trying to close back in. Pamba gets one. Rexon is gone. They're spraying through the wall, and they've been able to successfully get it together here. The shotgun trying to get the lockdown on the soft wall. They've slowly backed out of there, Canadian, but they're not out of the woods yet. Grixer gets the lockdown, swinging further and further with the pistol, but what do you do at this point? You never technically lost the verticality, but you did lose that one to Ambi. Swings round with Surf getting another, and Soniqs from a single Capital bomb. No one was watching, right? It would be a full send, full passion. Get your hands in there and see what can come out. The C4 gets Bolo on the window. The Deimos is dancing back and forth, but Surf says, yeah, I'm here, mate. Square up. If you're feeling froggy, leap. And Nafe
swing through office. Well, I wonder if the rest of the team is talking shop. I mean, Nafe is the leader on the team. If there's anybody to talk strategy, it should be him. But instead, they're just going to let it play out.
Get a bit of a breath. You get a time to say, oh, no, the pressure's back up. Okay, we now step up, and it's that traded back and forth. Here, it is just... When you tack on the idea of maybe the Frost Mats and the Legion, this isn't really the best point of route through, and Amber gets Canadian as Nafe goes down. The kit was in his pockets too. They have time to try and recollect it. Pamba gets another. DarkZero keeps that energy, and Nafe is back to his feet. This deep cross angle, but it's caught by Ambi from underneath. 11-3, still tearing his way through, still a halfway to the best of 3 kill record potentially. Grixer gets the C4. Soniqs still somehow fighting back every step. They've got to recollect the kit now. Nafe traipsing their way. It was a frost map that downed them, so they're hobbling for the rest of this round and the rest of the time because they got themselves out of it. Bolo has some safety of the site, has some of the cross angle, can cover some of it, but he's got to be quick and he's got to have the catch perfect. Nafe, it's not that he doesn't trust it, but it's that they couldn't stop it.
Clear and figure out where these players are to take them down. The mute jammers, maybe they're causing a bigger problem. Look at that. DarkZero had 0 drones remaining. No information whatsoever. They could bring a Brava, they could bring a Twitch.
Energy. Soniqs are the one that have got the kills at the end of the day. You can see some of the damage starting to done. The call to back it up, 50 seconds, and the first one is Ambi to strike. Drops NJR, and Pamba knocks Ambi out of the whole map itself for 42nd, 4 versus 4. Slowly turns away as Pamba gets another. Bolo, massively hurt, but still standing. They try and creep their way down. Nafe finding Surf. Grixer finding Nafe. Right back and forth. The pressure's still on the plants. They have the man disadvantage, but it's going to turn into a 2 versus 2. Canadian spraying the window, putting the fear into them. Looks for the fight on the rafters, but Pamba had the game guessed. As I said, he's been the player, the force that keeps them fighting in it, and Grixer missed the moment. Kobe from the top right.
Again, this is a matchup that will be remembered for quite some time. Oh, he threw the drone at the wall. I was very curious as to what was happening there. I was like, what are we what are we looking at?
An oopsie.
I like the changes that were immediately made from DarkZero.
We'll pull ourselves a bit cautiously back. Control of East Stairs and stepping through with the swing, just pre-firing the break wall. But it's Ambi to get NJR and Rexon to get Bolo, and Soniqs. They're able to smash their way through, so now you've got to try and, you know, turn on the engines and see if you can get the afterburners all the way through. Pamba finds Canadian. Ambi massively hurt. They've been able to shift this round somehow. DarkZero claimed 3 bodies out of the back of 2 being lost on their lead in. They lose their Ying, lose their Dokkaebi. And from then on, still finds success until Ambi steps closer and closer before he's knocked out of it. A 2 versus 1. Surf.
DarkZero, frankly, needs to win this round if Ambi wants a shot, but victory is what SQ wants. Diffuser almost goes down, but they think otherwise of it. They need to figure out where Surf is, or else DarkZero can get caught with their pants down.
This is the right idea. Push up. Kobe gets the kill.
Stands at 55 kills by Citizen. That is the online best of 3 kill record in Tier 1 competition, of course. Up for the deficiencies that Canadian has had, and I say this with quite a smile so far through this series. Ambi dies immediately to Kobe, so this will be a little bit more challenging.
They're able to get themselves stepped up with a chance of maybe doubling down onto engagements. The boss, gee, both of them miss out, and Canadian does not. Kobe goes to the bottom of the eastern stairs. feels like we're pushing our way towards Soniqs on the stop. There's the flashes close round on the corner. They want to dive in with the pistol. They find the end of Canadian, but they get down from the spray through the wall. A lot of time, but a 1 versus 3, and you're in a bit of an uncomfortable situation here, and you think about where the side is, you're still taking fights down below.
Final minute to go, and it's NJR with multiple silhouettes lined up behind the lumber. We'll have to do some wood shedding. As he now rotates around, Rexon shuts him down, and Soniqs will move to match point. Fatigue has worn on. It is very late, 12:06 a.m. We will end this match on a different day than it started. With very minimal kills. They had like 4 or 3 kills in the span of 2 or 3 rounds. It was quite dreadful. This is a game where kills are not the whole story. Easy desperately needs to win this round to prolong the matchup. Canadian dies, a tale as old as time. Ambi goes down as well. If this is the final round, the kill record will be safe.
You snap your way back round and change up what they expect of the hole, change up what they expect of the position. The blitz charges on through and Grixer goes down. There's Surf dropping on towards Pamba and getting the kill, but if they hit the air jab and rotate their way out, can they confirm the player they got the down on? I think they were able to hit the hatch. Grixer was, and they're crawling for their life. In this time, the plant, they're going to see if they can try and get it confirmed. They're still hunting players underneath. Bolo doesn't just want to swing onto this, gets the final, but look how far away now the 2 remaining defenders are. They're really playing this as a sort of response take at this. Maybe going to try and take the verticality once again, pre-firing the angle to stop them coming in, but they don't have the stop on Rexon. Look at the timer! Soniqs! Oh, they were close! They were close with a way that they're eyeing up where this first point is. DarkZero, their most recent attacks have been quite sharp. They've made sure they pulled themselves back from the brink. They sort of smash in and take a body. And NJR, the frustration. You can see it there. He's caught by a C4. It's the first time we've had a proper NJR react camp.
That does not bode well for DarkZero, as they get collapsed upon. 1 kill for Ambi as he gets turned on over towards Fountain. He's still in this position, but a hard wall separates him and Pambazoo, both of them finding a kill in this round. Ambi finished off by Bolo, as the numbers will now equalize. Canadian joins his teammates in the grave. Grixer down 2. It's all up to Surf to hold this together. Use whatever wave, simile, metaphor, euphemism, whatever you want.
That
round is ended by Dark.
This first engagement, so important, and it's almost a run out that gets it, but it's Rexon to get Bolo, punishing him for the play that he's made a couple of times. Surf finds Pamba, no more for him. This round puts us into the 5. The angles as you go for the drop are what they're trying to surround themselves in here for. Surf finds Nafe. A 5-2. NJR suffers a bit of a scrap here on the door of customs with Grixer getting the end. Kobe, all that is left to keep this off of Max OT, gets one. But gets dropped on by Ambi. We're going all the way, Parker.
And at stake is the first overall seed for the NA League as to which of these squads goes to Montreal in a favorable position.
To get it settled, both of these teams just need one. Nafe takes a bit of damage. They're going for the drop. Pamba's got himself some very shaky control, but as Rexon gets Bolo, it's Pamba to get Rexon as an immediate response here. They're concerned about the fight that's starting to crash right against them. Pamba gets Canadian. He's only 1 away from getting it tied, I believe, at this point, but they still need to hold some of this territory. Nafe is looking for a drop from below, and it's Ambi that just slips on by, hits the bars, not the player. It's long-range firefights, forcing, shepherding, waiting for somebody to step 1 foot wrong and then be put to bed. They keep pushing all the way up to the wall. The plant is being confirmed. Nafe on the back line. There's no response until Surf hits it from deep. Surf gets 2! A single player, it's Pamba with no health, and Ambi, he ties it up! I don't know if it's fully fact-checked. I don't know how he ended. We have Soniqs confirmed as first place. I think we have another player tied up up on the kill record. We might even have 2, Parker. What a way for it to go.